What's up, YouTube? So yesterday I did a video about my F-150 with over 200,000 miles on it. There she is. So I purchased this vehicle, I think, with 180,000 miles on it, 170,000 miles on it, and the previous owner just wasn't taking care of it. I'm sure that's why they traded it in. So I picked it up, put a flywheel in it, tires, suspension work, stereo, and you know, it was already burning oil, 2 to 3 quarts within 3,000 miles. So I already knew that there was engine problems already when I purchased it, and I didn't, you know, do a tear down and rebuild. I probably could have saved the engine if I did that. So the last oil change was Valvoline Restore and Protect. And it wasn't even due for an oil change, and the timing chain tensioner was rattling before we did the oil change on this 5.4 with Restore and Protect. The phasers started to rattle. You could hear the pins, you know, starting to wear out. They probably broke. I didn't tear into it. So I just believe that it was just a combination of things that took this engine out, on top of me just driving it with no oil pressure. I do believe the oil pump failed, and I was on 95 in traffic, and I just wasn't willing to stop. The engine basically was in need of a rebuild or replacement anyway at 200,000 miles, and poorly maintained, so I wasn't willing to probably put crank rods, pistons, cams, you know, the whole 9 yards in this thing. Just wasn't worth it. So I thought it was electrical at first, with the oil pressure going from 50% to zero, 50% to zero, but I do believe that that was just the oil pump getting ready to grenade, and once the oil pump did grenade, that was the end of the story, and we pushed this truck probably for 15 minutes with no oil pressure at 50, 60 miles an hour. And then it finally died at the Betsy Ross Bridge trying to go up it. Do I believe Restore and Protect made the engine fail? I don't believe so. I believe mechanical failure will happen, and if this engine was super well maintained from the rip, even OEM parts are poorly designed. And if the customer who had it before me took super duper care of it, they wouldn't burn 3 quarts of oil in 3,000 miles. So it already tells you they didn't take really good care of it. Yeah. So am I going to fix it? No. The frame's rotted out in the back, and that was accelerated by dipping it in the ocean with my jet ski hobby. The rear end needs to be rebuilt. The sunroof didn't work, so, you know, for me, really wasn't worth it. But the signs that we were having when we were driving, it felt like the transmission was having trouble shifting. But what I do believe is that the oil pressure was dropping, causing the VVT actuators to retard the timing. I'm sorry, to advance the timing, I believe it is, with no oil pressure. Forget how that happens, but you could hear it in the intake manifold going, oh, and then it would come back, it would go, it would come back, it would go. And I'm like, man, is this transmission? Am I getting a misfire? And mind you, we're driving 70, 80 miles an hour in traffic. And then finally, once I seen the oil pressure light come on, I'm like, damn, is that the sending unit acting up? Because we didn't get any noise. And then after the oil pressure gauge nosedived like 3 times, the engine started clattering, and then the oil pressure came back, and then it clattered, and it came back, and then, you know, it was basically having a heart attack while we're driving down the highway. But like I said, I'm just not willing to fix the chassis work in the back, although I was going to rebuild the rear and then put an engine in it. We're just going to retire this truck. But yeah, do I think it was Restore and Protect that caused it? Nah, not at all. All right, guys. I don't know if I'm going to buy another vehicle right now. I think Jude's just going to take this truck and do something with it. And that's that. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Thank God I have Sequoia with 300,000 miles. I have my green F-150 with 150 on it. So we're just going to continue to drive our older cars. By no means, if your car blows up, that you should just go out and buy another $40,000 or $50,000 car and take on a $700 a month car payment, or it is. Not me. This cat's not doing it anymore. Thanks for watching.